Now, I would like to invite D. Naveen Kumar sir, convener NISB KITSW, to give few words about the session.
Thank you, Amma. Good morning, one and all. I, D. Naveen Kumar, Assistant Professor, CSC Department and convener of NISP. Welcome all the participants on behalf of Center of Innovation, Incubation, Research and Entrepreneurship, that is I2RE, KITS Warangal, for the one-day session titled Session on Accelerators, Incubation, Opportunities for Students and Faculties, Early Stage Entrepreneurs. My special thanks to research person Kalakonda Srikanth Reddy Garu for immediate acceptance for my request. Hope this session will enlighten our students community and faculty community on innovation and entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. C. Srinivas, HOD of Srinivas, sir, HOD of CSC Department, KITSW, to speak few words about the session.
Yeah, good morning, one and all. This is Dr. C. Srinivas, head of the Department of CSE and coordinator for this program. A warm welcome to all of you, my dear students and faculty of all the departments, for the session titled Session on Accelerators, Incubation Opportunities for Students and Faculties, Early Stage Entrepreneurs, like a startup, organized by IIC and Department of CSE. These sessions create awareness among students and faculty community on innovation, incubation, and entrepreneurship. What we are doing regularly in our college, like I2RE, is taking all the initiatives to do the better for the students as well as faculties too. And it's really great efforts putting by Srikanth sir by taking all our college levels high in the society. The students should not be the job seekers. Our main motto is that we are always job providers. How our Srikanth Reddy sir has been just now give the brief introduction about himself, how he has been studied at USA for doing MS and started this HALA like company. So I would like to take more inputs to start myself also in further. Yeah. So the main intention, the students should be job providers by establishing the startups and play a vital role in creating employability and thus in nation's growth and for the society too. I hope session speaker Kalakonda Srikanth Reddy's experience and knowledge will inspire us and guide us and our students too towards successful entrepreneurs in the society and in the nation and towards to serve the nation and whole world. They will get the good name and fame to start up their own companies and to gain the not only the profits, to get the good name and fame for giving the society fruitful results. For this, thanks for giving this opportunity and thanks to Srikanth Reddy sir for giving a wonderful opportunity to us to take up the sessions, and thanks Srikanth sir for conducting this type of workshops. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ananda.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Dr. P. Srikanth sir, Head Center of I2RE, KITSW, to speak few words about the session.
Yeah, thank you, Indu. Good morning, respected guests, Srikanth Reddy sir, and HOD Srinivas sir, and my friend coordinator for the program, Naveen, and attendee faculty and students. A very good morning to all of you. So it's my immense pleasure that we are able to conduct this particular program. For the understanding of our guest, Srikanth sir, we would like to put some efforts that KITS Warangal is doing in this line for your consideration, sir. So KITS Warangal is 42 years old and experienced institute, as you know. And recently, the college has established a Center for Innovation, Incubation, Research and Entrepreneurship. So in addition to the education, the institute is also focusing on, as Srinivas sir
Anna, something went wrong.
Yeah, Srikanth sir.
we want to put it in.
Yeah. No, it's
So
okay.
am I clear, sir? Maybe some disturbance.
Yeah, sir. Now clear.
Yeah. So
Now it's fine.
Is focusing on that, and as part of it, this center has been established, and we have Institutions Innovation Council (IIC), which is conducting this particular program. And we also have MSME Business Incubator being granted by Ministry of MSME. We also have National Innovation and Startup Policy. We also have Entrepreneurship Development Cell. And more recently, our college has been granted with AICT Idea Lab worth of 1.236 crores. So as part of all this, what is important is to create a sense of innovation into my students, sir. So your HALA, just now I searched what exactly is that. So I understood that it is an innovative mobility system that you have incorporated into. And I strongly appreciate and heartfully appreciate you, Srikanth Reddy, sir, because the thought of innovation is good. And maybe you are the role model for this type of system in India and more so in these Telugu states. So you will be having enormous potential of growth. I foresee that. And I heartfully appreciate you for taking that particular initiation. So I want my students to understand the scope of such innovations, such innovative thinking, and how to implement those innovative ideas. See, Ola, Uber are all there, but your concept of two-wheeler is also a very good provision of the systems. So therefore, Srikanth Reddy, sir, I will request you to focus on two things, sir. One is, as the name itself suggests, the system today, the topic, accelerators, and then the innovative concepts of students, how to make the facilities useful and how to make the things, how to take the advantage of the demand in the market, how to select an innovative idea and how to work on that innovative idea. So you can take your own case study, sir, what you have done, how you have proceeded, what was your inspiration. So I request you, it should be a mix of the real topic and your case study, sir. So that will give my students more confidence. And that is the purpose of this particular program. So I request all the students to have a participatory involvement, and the speaker will be, as I see him, he can help you in real time doubts. So I request this session to be fruitful. And I thank you, Naveen, again connecting to a very good speaker. And speaker, sir, today I thank you for coming and sparing your time. And I request you to have a long-term relation with Kids Warangal. Thank you, Srikanth Reddy, and thank you, Srinivas, sir. I'm done. Indu, you can proceed.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Now I
sir.
request all faculty and students to turn on video to capture a photo.
I request all the faculties and students, please switch on your videos so that we can have a snapshot.
Yes, yes.
Somebody has to take the initiation to take the photo.
Yeah, we are taking students as well as me.
Santosh, sir, you down the face because of your, yeah, now, okay.
So is it done?
Done, sir.
Yeah, we are done with done. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Indu, please
Thank
proceed.
you. Thank you, sir. Now let's know few achievements and qualifications about our guest speaker. Dr. Srikanth Reddy, sir, founder and CEO of HALA Mobility in Hyderabad and India, from November 2019 to till now. Sir built India's first multimodal EV shared mobility platforms Sir completed Masters in Telecommunication Engineering, Business Intelligent Engineering, Data Engineering Analyst in Polytechnic University of Madrid. Sir completed Masters in ICT for Internet and Multimedia, Information and Communication Technology in Padua University. Sir did his Bachelor of Technology in Computer and Science in Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University. Sir have work experience on data engineering, architect, backend developer, senior process executive, data analyst, etc. Now it's time to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Srikanth Reddy sir, to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. I rushed in. I started it super quick, but thank you so much for hosting kids. And when professors like Srikanth Garu, Naveen Garu, or Srinivas Garu, when you are addressing me, sir, I feel like too old. I did not achieve so much that you have achieved, sir. So it is just a process of learning. I've been traveling a lot, and it's a process of learning, I feel. So I request you to address me with Srikanth as your student rather than Srikanth, sir, please. And it's great to see how innovation is happening around us, right? Like it can be, a tier one city, tier two city, or tier three towns as well. As the government started in Tinta innovation, right? Like everywhere we see innovation happening. There are innovators coming from rural India, which is the actual India, right? So there has been a great learning for me as well, where from the day I started moving back to India. I want to shed a little while on what we're trying to do at HALA, and later I'm going to spend a lot of time on what incubators are doing, what kind of innovation we can bring in, and how the systems like I2RE are bringing onto the table for the innovators or the entrepreneurs who are going to start their own product. I want to have this session to be more conversational, so that it becomes super lively. We can have an engaging session, right? So at HALA, we are building this multimodal EV shared mobility platform, meaning we have different types of vehicles, different modes of transit. And these types of vehicles will be able to, enable third-party logistics, delivery companies, and delivery personnel to quickly move towards EVs. Why EVs? Because if you look at the top 10 polluted cities in the world, top 5 comes from India, right? If you look at today's petroleum pricing that is happening, the delivery personnel is the one who travels like 100, 120 kilometers a day. And for him, saving money is important. And now for the companies like Big Basket, Zomato's, Swiggy's of the world, all of them are moving towards the IPOs. When they're moving towards IPOs, it is also necessary to show, not just show the profits and losses, but also the environmental social governance done by these companies. As part of that, they have to be carbon neutral. Right. So now these people, they have to cut down their combustion element and move towards a sustainable mode of deliveries. So now entities like HALA come into picture where, we enable them to move towards, the EV ecosystem. If you look at top down or bottom up, both the ways it works. Government wants to push towards EVs because of pollution that is happening. Delivery partners who are the key customer of HALA, they are willing to move towards EVs because to save money, because they earn a little meager amount, right? And the companies want to move. So there's a lot of opportunity around this space. And during the whole journey, we started up in 2018, brainstorming, market research, and sorts of understanding what can grow on the ground. We started as a micro mobility platform where you can pick up and drop. But then there were great lessons that we have learned from bouncers of the world, Julius of the world, where it is a consumer behavior that comes into picture, not just the product that we have built, right? So then later, what we sought is try to address the real problem that is happening, which is the delivery personnel. So then we, based on my experience, based on my knowledge, based on the team that we have, we started building up all the blocks, right? We have our in-house IoT tech solution, the driver behavior analytics, the BMS solution for the battery pack, the SaaS software that we offer to the companies or any business, and the swap stations that we're building today. So everyone here, whoever is from the ECE, AEEE, CSE, you all know pretty much about what exactly is IoT, what goes into, right? So with all these IoT devices that are placed inside a scooter, we made a dummy scooter into a smart electric scooter. That means what speed it goes through, what consumption rate of electricity is going through, what is the torque, is it straight or is it fallen down? So there are a lot of elements that comes through. Now, all this data has been processed with the data streams that we place, like Kafka streams or Spark streams, and they've been processed. processed and then made into a right data fit. From this, we understand what kind of a driver analytics it is. To first to push any kind of a product, I feel like there is a need of making a customer or a user understand what he's trying to do. If you're roughly using the vehicle, that is where the social behavior comes into picture, right? If you're roughly using the vehicle, you will not be able to run the vehicle for a long time. So now we educate a customer based on how he's accelerating, how he's braking, how is he riding on the ground. So thereby, a sense of responsibility comes into picture. So we've built up a couple of modules, which is IoTs, BMSs, batteries, software as a service, and then the battery swapping architecture, which we are going to deploy on 27th of this month. And all these products combined together today has built up an ecosystem where anything related to EVs can be touch points at the HALA's platform. You can just download the HALA's mobility application on the platform. You will be able to ride, rent, book a scooter, book a service engineer, go near the service station, charge it, and pay for whatever time, and also buy your own, dream EV vehicle on the platform at a very less entry barrier rate. So what is the innovation that we have made here? It is how do we make a normal EV to a smart EV, right? At an affordable pricing. You from what I've learned throughout the journey is you should not be, or you don't need to be a cheapest service, but a affordable service at a very good quality of service. That is what end customers need. And during all this journey, I've been incubated at T-Hub, Hyderabad. I've graduated from there. HALA has graduated from there, and then moved to a T-Angels program. And recently we have closed a successful pre-seed round of $1 million. And now it's all execution that is going through. And also the different entities that are being set up by the government, like TSIC, Telangana State Innovation Cell. We have VHub, we have T-Works, like different departments, like Rich, who is also providing talents to the startups like us. All different ecosystems that have joined together are helping us build this ecosystem of startups, ecosystem of innovation to go, smoother and, deeper into the market. What sorts of opportunities one would have, right? Today we have computer science engineers here, electrical engineer here, or EC students here. We have touch points of different departments. If you ask me of a mechanical engineer, we still have a need of mechanical engineers. If you look at computer science engineers, there is a need of computer science engineers who can build amazing applications, amazing algorithms, amazing, streaming, data streaming protocols, thereby, having their own sort of innovation coming into the product itself, right? I'm kind of a person who comes from a research background. So, I more rely on releasing papers, journals, wherein, you can at least share your knowledge of what you have done. It's not just about earning money, doing something for yourself, also giving back to the community. Thereby, there is some sort of a customer base or a user base or a student base where, they can take certain inspiration from the work that you've done. I don't know how many of you have seen this post this morning. How many of you know CRED as application? So if any one of you know CRED as an application, you see their whole UI tech stack, which is user interface tech stack, has been made open source. Why did they make it open source? It's just that, the other part of the community can utilize this UI resources and build their own tech stack. There are many such similar examples, how Googles of the world, Facebooks of the world releases open sources technologies. The same way, there is a lot of things that we as, budding entrepreneurs, budding students, like budding engineers, we can do something back to the society. So as an incubator, there are many opportunities that these incubators give. One is, if someone have visited T-Hub, there we have, Adina and then MSR, who generally say like we have 5 M's and 2 P's, which is market, money, mentors, people. All these access will be provided by the incubation center. It is great to see how a university has set up an incubation center and is nurturing its own students to become a future entrepreneur. So I would urge every student to take this opportunity and build something that they are trying to do, right? As Srinivas Garu mentioned in the first point is, don't be a job seeker, be a job provider. Yes. That value creation is what is needed among us, right? The entrepreneurship it's a journey where it's a lonely journey. It's a very personal journey. You'll go crest, you'll have troughs, you'll have happiness, you'll have sad, you'll have winnings, you'll have losing. All this is part of journey. And once you try, or once you're brave enough to take all those into yourself, I'm sure the great products come out. And that is when the value creation happens. That is when the employment generation happens. That is when the wealth creation happens. That is what is all about entrepreneurship, I feel personally, right? So I'm sure I Square RE would provide you with all the showcases that are needed, all the identity or corporate connects that are needed, and the main resources like people, money, markets, and mentor. This is what an incubator can give. And where to start with? Okay, the incubator will be giving you a lot of opportunities, but where to start, right? You as a person, where your strengths lie, right? It can be in developing your algorithms, it can be developing your product, it can be a service that is solving today's journey. Other day, I was at Guru Nanak Institutes of Technology and Sciences. I was asking a similar question among the computer science engineers and EC students. They were there at the symposium, and I asked one question, like, what is the major problem that they were seeing? Right. One point that popped up is, I want to track a APS RTC or Telangana State RTC bus. When it comes to a RTC stop, when it moves out of the RTC stop, I don't want the bus stop to be super crowded, right? So that is some sort of an innovation, right? You have one platform where you can see all traction that is going through. And if you look at HALA's application, that is one of the modules where you can build a combined trip. That means we just ask for your destination. And in HALA, once you enter your destination, we curate your entire trip. That means, hey, Srikanth, go pick up the scooter at 150 meters, drop at the metro station, and metro station ticket is booked on your ticket. And you show just QR code at the metro station, you will be given access to get onto metro. And once you end the drop down, you still have another bike that is reserved for you. Pick up that bike and go to your end destination. So all this trip curated in a single platform, that is what is needed today as part of tier 1 solution. In the tier 2, tier 3 towns, it is a different problem that we are facing. That different thing has to be addressed. So innovation can be anything. It just needs to solve the real world problem where a customer needs it. A customer is facing a problem, you solve it, and if there is a market product fit, there's nothing like it. One needs to understand the whole journey. When a student is trying to work on his idea, there are few things that we need to take into picture, right? There might be a great idea. Every one of us are here sitting with tons of ideas in our head, but are these ideas applicable for real life scenario? Yes or no is what you have to know from your market research, from your user journey, from your customer service. So you need to spend a little time understanding the market, understanding your customer base, and understanding the user base. Once you have certain things in place, then you go toward execution. Say suppose tomorrow someone is trying to build a smart battery pack, right? Example. Me being into the mobility industry, I'll try to take examples from what we are trying to do so that it becomes easier for me to explain as well. Say someone is trying to build a smart BMS or a smart battery pack. What is that? Why is it needed? Is every independent user needs a smart BMS or a smart battery pack? Today, if you look at the two-wheeler industry in India, India is highly dominated by two-wheelers. Every one of us know, right? And if you know, as per the surveys that are being done, 80% of the two-wheelers are being idle because you either go to your college, you either go to your workspace, and all of the time it's free. So now, if you want to bring certain innovation in the EV space, is it fast charging that you need? Is it the socket that you need? Is it the swap station that you need? Who wants what kind of a solution is what we need to understand. We need to bifurcate. We need to brainstorm. And then once you have a proper solution, which is market product fit, then I think it's an execution time, right? That is when investors, that is when incubators would give you access to funding. And that is when angels come into picture and they try to put in monies when they say market product fit. There are different stages in the whole journey. First, you have your idea, and then you build a prototype around it. This prototype should be built around once you have your user journey, user service, market service done right. Once you have your prototype, you give it to a first sample set of customers. And then once you get the feedback, you improvise that product. And then you have your minimal viable product, which is called as MVP, right? And this MVP is really needed because there is a there is a process, there is a structure that happened, there's an improvisation in your product, and this MVP once released into the huge mass of people, and then the customers accept it, that is when you become a market product fit, right? And once you have market product fit, I'm sure every investor out there, every person out there would start putting in money into you, and then they'll accelerate your growth, right? That is what incubators or accelerators would do. At accelerators or incubators, you get access to this monies, market, mentoring, people, the processes, and all these things will be streamlined, will be nurtured with the incubators like I2RE, incubators like T-Hub, incubators like anywhere in the world, Silicon Valleys, right? All these places, it's the same thing that is going to happen. And it is always advised, because I come from a same journey. The other day, maybe a couple of years back, I was one among you who was listening to one of the series or podcasts like this from other entrepreneur. And today I'm here giving my success story, sharing my success story towards you. So it's important for every one of us to understand what kind of a journey we go through. The incubator, it's not just about, supporting you with what is needed, but also would shape you in what is needed for your operational benefits, what is needed for your financial benefits. How do you have to build your marketing strategies? How do you have to build your go-to-market strategies? So every one of this has a real potential and real key factor within your whole journey of building your product. As I see, it is not just about writing a business model canvas. Okay, I just take a template, I fill up a couple of things, I made a business plan of 40-50 pages. It doesn't really work because you really did not put it on the ground. You did not put something from the customer side, right? And this has to be done at a very precise level. You need to purely, properly understand and then grow towards a journey. Now, let me shed some light on what organizations can have from the whole system and organizations can give back to the students, right? Great that we have one incubation lab here. You guys are really, really, really fortunate guys. Like, I'm honestly telling you, I've also graduated from JNTU. I've graduated from Avian Institute of Engineering Technology, which is Associated College of JNTU. Even though I got like tens of 15s of thousands rank in MSET, but there is a lag of where do I fix my journey? And either I have to go to my BBA or to my BTech. What do I fit into, right? So then if there was a delay, I fixed it, but I have utilized my resources, and that is where I'm standing out today, right? You guys have taken a decision. You guys have took a decision. You are already starting a journey. You have already been through. So now it's all crucial to how to utilize this resources well and build up your product. You have your labs, you have your seminars, you have sessions like this. Grab as much as possible. It is all learning. The same thing I always try to pass on to my team members also. Learn quicker, fail faster, improvise quicker. Because if you try to sit down, work on a product, and then even though you're not, that the product is going to fail and you're just trying to work around, you're not just wasting your time, also your resources. You should understand time is money, and money saved is money earned. So these are some things that we need to keep in our mind. Every time that we need to make a pivot, you need to be straight confident. Like, yes, this product is not working, fail, and then go do a newer product or pivot into a different business model. Today, if you look at Google, yesterday, Google released a paper. How many of you have read that? That paper says there is a graveyard of failed projects of Google. Biggest companies like that have failures. We should also accept the failures, that everything that we do is not a success always. There is a failure and there's a learning behind it. Once we learn from it, then we get into a shape and we get into a journey like this. And institutions like KITS are already providing you with resources of incubation, acceleration, nurturing. This has to be utilized by you guys like super seriously. That is when you can nurture yourself. And which areas to concentrate, I would not be the one to tell you which areas to concentrate, because that relies on your strength, that relies on your capabilities. And once you know this, I'm good at this and I see a problem in this sector, and this talent is sufficient for the area that we are working towards, then I think there is nothing like it. You can always build the products around and solve the real-time problem. And you take drone tech, you take drones, you take agri tech, you take fintech, you take mobitech, you take anything as such, retail tech, right? Or quick commerce. Do your due diligence, do your market research thoroughly, and once you have that right in place, I think building up solutions is not a thing. Today you see edtech is like booming everywhere. Byju's is buying everyone left, right? So how are they able to do it, and why are they penetrating deeper? And is edtech really needed? Like after going through all these things, and how is edtech going to improvise the things? How fintechs are revolutionizing, money lending and money, also recovery of those. Couple of things that I've learned is, if you it's a edtech, it should be an edtech, like how quicker you're reaching out to people. It's not just about number of people you have. It's the same thing with fintech. You should not key how much are you lending. It's also about the recovery rate of your money. Else, you're just going to be bankrupt if your return rates are less. The same thing goes with the mobitech or agritech. Today, I would say I met a wonderful person other day. He's a very good friend of mine, Mr. Vamsi, who is building a product called HESA, right? He's into agritech. He wants to revolutionize. He wants to. It's a digital platform, which is building for the rural Bharat India, which is the true Bharat, right? So the problems really exist at the root level, and he's trying to address that. So I would say not just look at the streamlined opportunities, what is happening in the real-time market, that might be shown with the monies that they have, with the marketing that they're doing, but try to concentrate on rural problems, what India has to actually see the growth levels. And that is where I see a lot of potential for the students as well. And for the different verticals, as I mentioned about earlier, right? So we ourselves as a startup, we are a 22 members team. 16 members of team works on the ground, and 6 members sit in the office. And today we are scouting for people who can be our next CMOs, who can be our next CFOs, who can be our chief data officers, who can be the head of IoTs. And one among you, or few among you, are capable of joining hands with us and wants to rope up the throughout the journey. We are always open to have that conversation, exchange that synergies, and grow together. At the end, entrepreneurship is all about how much you have learned, how much you have grown, and how much you have given back to the community also, right? That is where the value creation and wealth creation comes into picture. And all this is possible with the incubators like I Square RE, incubate, innovation that we people bring into picture, all combined together, building up a beautiful product. So, in a nutshell, this is kind of a boot camp, or this is kind of a learning that I've gone through. And now, I want to make this session to be open-ended. I want to hear questions from you, and maybe we can have a interactive session, because I don't want to be a Gyani here, but I want to be a knowledge transfer guy, where whatever I've learned, all this while, I wanted to share a little bit, but not a Gyani here, because you always have your professors, teachers, to give everything that is needed, shape you into a right person. And yeah.
Yeah, students, if you have any doubts regarding the steps to be taken or the path to be followed to become an entrepreneur, to have a startup, please you can pose the questions to the resource person. Sir, I do have a question, like what are the general steps we need to follow through? Like first is the idea generation, and refine it further, try to
Yeah.
implement it. What are the different steps? And also, like, and the other question is how to collaborate with the T-Hub. What is the stage we need to achieve so that we can keep the idea or maybe product before the T-Hub and get their support and incubate and so on?
Sure. So, when you're building a product or a service, right, there are a couple of things. As I said, first you start with your ideation, right? How does this ideation comes? Like, you are a group of friends, you are a group of people, you are trying to brainstorm on a real world problem, and this idea is trying to nurture into a shape. And now, for this idea to solve, you have built a prototype. If someone is trying to take a note, just make a note of it. As this is recorded, you can always have it. So first get it ideated, done right, and then build your product, or a prototype. It's not a product, it's a prototype. Once this prototype is ready, you share it with a small set of customers and try to take their feedback. And once you have the feedback right, now you have your minimal viable product. That means there is a first level of iteration done to the product and you have given it to the customers. Customer gave your feedback. And once this MVP is right, you now release it to the huger target customer. And once this target customer accepts your product and you start generating certain money to your product, then it is called as market product fit. And once the market product fit is done, that is when the incubators, accelerators will push towards getting you grants, getting you monies, getting you investments. And that is when the growth of the product happens. And once the growth of the product happens, and once it is achieved into a huge market, then it is all about scaling up. Then it is all about Series A, Series B, Series C rounds in whatever thousands of crores that you're going to lift. And T-Hub being, I would say we have my graduation is done there, my high school has been done there, and everything about HALA has been done at T-Hub, right? And T-Hub as an entity has evolved over a period of time. And
participants, please mute yourselves.
T-Hub as an entity has evolved over a period of time. Today, we have different entities, like you have Rubik's, where you have your idea, you can build your prototype. You have Lab 32, where this product is market product fit and you're generating certain revenue. You have T-Angels, where you want to have certain investments, you can still go there. You also have another entity, called as Masterclass, where when you're in your ideation stage, how do you build this idea into a proper stage? So you have Masterclass, you have Rubik's, you have Lab 32, you also have T-Angels, where support can be provided at any given point of a time. So what stage you want to get into, you can be just at your understanding level. You want to build something and you have an idea and you want to nurture into shape, you still can get access to the T-Hub. And Navin Garu, whatever is needed, I'll be able to share something offline as well, if that can be helpful for anyone. I'm sure you are already connected, but still whatever is needed, I can also do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shall I add one more point to Navin sir? Srikanth, with your permission.
Please.
Yeah, please, sir.
Because of Navin sir question was very good and it's very important to everyone. I would like to add before the idea, everyone should have the dream to achieve something in the life. When the dream is there, automatically the ideas will be generated to start up the companies. So
very true.
So before the idea, the dream should be have everyone to achieve the goal. That is my intention to be say the word. Thank you.
100%, 100%. One should have that intention to build something. One should have the intention of having their own entity rather than just working.
Yes.
And so that value creation or wealth generation has to be there within us. That is when we will be able to. And for the budding entrepreneurs, one lesson that I've learned, I've been doing a mistake, and I don't want you to do the same mistake, right? You need to have your financial understanding right? Like when you build a product or when you give a service, if you just say like market is giving at 1 rupee, and if you can't give it at 1 rupee, don't give it at 1 rupee. Give it at whatever pricing it has to go through. Making your product cheaper will disrupt, or will collapse the market. Instead, you'll not do anything. And also you may start your product with say a 1 crore rupee or 10 lakh rupees or 100 rupees, right? Whatever it can be, but have your spending power right. You should understand where you're spending, how you're optimizing. If you don't have your financial understanding right and how you can utilize the financial institutions right, I think you will not be able to go ahead. It will just collapse. That is something that I've learned, and I failed at a couple of points, and it took a while for me to learn. And whenever you're building a product, it is keen to understand this.
Yeah, got it, sir. So I understood like every product has its own value based on its quality and its standard and so on.
Yeah. Exactly. You need to position your product right and show why your product is so costly. Today, if you look at Ferrero Rocher is 100 rupees, and then you have a Dairy Milk, which is coming at 10 rupees also. right? What is the difference? Why is it rated at this price and why is it rated at this price? Your positioning of the product has to be done right, and your value proposition has to be given out right, so that people will be accepting your product.
Yeah, Ajit sir, other coordinator of I-Square RE, Ajit sir want to have may have some question. Ajit sir, please you can pose your question, sir, if you have
Yeah.
any.
Good morning, sir. Good morning,
Good morning,
Srikanth.
Ajit sir.
Yeah. Can you please elaborate the participants about the financial, how to handle the financial when they plan for any startup with respect to your case, and just what are the steps to be followed? Compulsory steps.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. So thanks for putting that forward, Ajit sir. Typically, how do I look at the whole journey is, what is the fund that you have already? The second thing is, what is the capital expense and the operational expense? Capital expense is something that you need in the initial stage itself to build your product and to have your working capitals or the backup to run your show. And on the other hand, you also have your operational expenses that go on month basis, towards a product. While digging down deep, you need to understand to put every minute detail into picture. It can be from your office rent, it can be your, just in case of HALA, say, there is cost associated with the scooters, there's a cost associated with the batteries, chargers, insurances, IoTs. There are there is a warehouse, the infrastructure wise warehouse that is needed, office spaces that are needed, people that are needed, people's salary that is needed, and there's going to be operational expenses. What kind of expense that you do month basis. Every fine detail has to be pinpointed, and there needs to be always a buffer before you point it out. Today, say market price is X, you always run with X plus 10%, 15%, so that you have a leverage to play around rather than just sticking onto your whole plan. And once you have this whole structure right, you understand what is coming in and what is going out. And that is when you'll understand if your company or if your product is actually making money or you're actually losing it. And just to give little brief about how you can utilize these funds in a right way is to have a proper financial planning done. And how this proper financial planning is done is plan for your first 12 months as a minimum. Having 24 months, 36 months is great, but having 12 months of financial planning, it makes it super viable, so that your business runs streamlined for the next 12 months without having any external investments or something to worry about. And then you can concentrate on your product.
Yeah, thank you. And one more question regarding the battery management system. Yeah, the battery management system which you are using in your HALA, is it developed by you, or you are just hiring it?
Sure. So we got the BMS contract manufacturer from the XYZ manufacturers present in India. That can be Nexus, that can be Plutera, anyone as such. But then what we did is we have integrated the embedded program from ourselves, right? So that our protocol or the data that is being streamed to our servers is as per our needs, so that someone else can't interpret into the device and get the information. So the protocol level integration and the embedded program level integration is done by us, and rest of them, as a hardware is being built by other parties. The reason why we wanted to do that is, we being a very small team and our tech team being a very small one, we were not able to spend a lot of time in building the things from scratch. So we leverage things that are built already, and then we have added the layer of our own capabilities. That is where our IP lies.
Yeah, thank you. Meanwhile, I may ask question because the time has to be given to the remaining participants. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, participants, if you have any question, you can ask. So research person wants the session to be interactive.
Yeah, good morning, Srikanth Garu. I'm Santosh Kumar,
Yeah,
faculty
Santosh, sir.
CS.
Yeah, please.
Naveen Garu. Yeah. So my question is, sir, is there any urgency to go for a patent before we go for the development of a product or idea which comes into your mind?
Okay. So how the patent thing works in India typically is only for the product level. Services, there is no patenting. There is no patenting for your software. There is no patenting for your process. Process, again, you can get it from the Europe or the US or the any other countries and then apply it for global. But then when is it needed is if we really think this is a entry barrier. Say suppose today we have done something in terms of the IoTs, whatever. IoTs is not something that is built from scratch, or that is a non-obvious thing. It is something that is obvious. The components are available. You just need to use the right component in the right space and build the product. And the same way goes with the algorithm, right? So there needs to be a innovation. There needs to be a non-obvious thing, and there needs to be something that is proprietary before we file a patent. For this, we need to do our research about, is there a product that is already available? Is my product a non-obvious thing? That means, say there is dash camera in car, and now say I'm going to add a camera feature within the scooter which will do a driver authentication, right? It will not fit because the driver authentication feature is already there in the car. The dash cams will already do the recognition of the driver and fatigueness of the driver and all such. So implementing that in the scooter is something which is an obvious thing. You can still modify a few things and make the structure right. So there needs to be some kind of improvement or a development or a feature enhancement that has to be done in the product. That is when it has to be. And what time is once you see like this product is actually going to disrupt the industry, or there is a potential copyright issue that might come up, and that is when I think we have to go to patent. But before that, we need to understand, are we patent ready? Because patenting is not an easy job. It takes at least a year's while to get the whole documentation, get the patent right in place. Of course, if it is a very innovative thing, that is like something out of the box which is coming for the first time, I think it should be super easy. But if there is some kind of a development that is going through with existing products, then we should understand, do we really need to give the time there? Today there are many investors who comes up and says like, why didn't you get your IoT or BMS or whatever the IP get it patented? But do you I ask a question myself is, do you really think is it patentable, right? I don't think it's patentable because there are many such IoT trackers which can be enabled by CAN or Spirit by 232 that can do the similar kind of a job. What is that standing out is, it is not something that is standing out. It is something that we have built only for our use case, where I'm optimizing the cost.
Fine. Super. Thank you
I
so
hope
much.
I've answered your question, Santosh sir.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. Thank you so much for the elaboration. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, students, any queries from your side? Students, please feel free to ask the queries. Srikanth sir, do you want to pose any question?
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Naveen.
please, sir.
Srikanth, this is the real problem that
Hello,
we
sir.
always experience. See, around about 60 students are there in this platform, and they have spent almost say 1 hour along with you and me and other faculty. I don't understand what could be the purpose of attending this particular program. Because as Sinu sir rightly said, if they don't have a zeal of learning and a dream of achieving something, see, it's not an academic session that we are organizing, right? But still they are attending it. But what could be the purpose of it? So this is the problem we always think about. Non-participatory spending of time is no less than killing the time, I tell you. So this is the biggest problem we are facing, point number one. Point number two, and this is only for your understanding out of your experience. If you can give me tips, that's okay. And question number two is, As Sinu sir rightly said, that the dream and the students have so many dreams and they come up with so many ideas. Now, the process of innovation incubation, I'm very happy you have put it in precise that get your idea, make into a prototype and then MVP and then market fit. This is simple terms you have put in. The biggest challenge these students again is not ready to expose their idea at least to the center. They feel that this is a patentable idea, it's a wonderful idea. What if somebody copies? See, it's something like I always say this center should be treated as a hospital. If you don't tell about your problem to a doctor, how do the doctors serve you? So that is the challenge that we are facing, Srikanth. So I
True, sir.
request the students to understand what exactly his learnings are. So he credited T Hub. See, understand that is the gratitude point I love from Srikanth. See, he said that my high school, my middle school, my graduation, everything happened with T Hub regarding to HALA, and they supported it. So that happens only with mutual respect and mutual understanding and confidence. So Srikanth, I just request you to put a light on these type of problems because my students are not coming out. So
Sure,
that
sure.
is the, yeah, please. I think I'm clear.
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah. So one thing, as you rightly mentioned, sir, people, I mean, students or any entrepreneur would have a doubt. What if I share my idea and someone copies it? See, today we are sitting on abundant number of ideas. Everyone would have their own thought process. But as a initiator, suppose say I started up something. Say it's not something someone can't copy. Everyone can copy this, and today it's public. Today it's recorded. You can still make up what you can try to do, or you can still replicate, right? So do not be scared about what your idea is. And first and foremost thing, when there is a opportunity of showcasing yourself or throwing your questions, please do ask. If you can't post your question, that is the first step of failure, I would say. Honestly, understand this. Like, you need to pose your question right. It can be anything as lame as what is this, what is an IoT, right? Like, you can just ask whatever that can be. It will actually, maybe it, but there might be someone else who doesn't know it, and they might actually learn from it, right? So asking a question and asking a right question also does matter, but any which point, you have to put it forward to make something going on. And as Srikanth sir mentioned, there is no one to copy your idea. Even if there is someone to copy your idea, as a first thought process, you had some other vision in your head. The idea is to create a transit platform, say. But okay, idea is to create another food delivery application. You are already seen a Zomato kind of a platform. You have seen Swiggy kind of a platform. You're now seeing Zepto kind of a platform. You'll obviously not build the same kind of a platform, right? You will of course add a different feature. You have got a vision towards it, and you are building strategies to build that vision, right? So one needs to be confident ki, yes, whoever might take this idea, I will still build something that I am trying to do. Everyone has their own way of doing it, implementing it on the ground. So, do not be worried about what if I Square RE just picks up your idea and then goes. I don't think something of that sorts happen today. Almost 2000 incubation 2000 startups are incubated at T Hub. And why do the T Hub doesn't do it? They have access to market, they have monies, they have government support, they can implement their own product, right? They're not there to copy something, steal something, you know uh, or develop something that is out of someone else. Professors here, they have their own things to do, they have their own research work, they have their own classworks to teach, but they are trying to nurture you here to make you into, or to nurture you or groom you into a right shape, that to that way you build a product. Of course, what do they get at the end once you give them a credit? Yes, this professor has helped me out today. I would obviously say, if you ask any of my team, right? So there are a couple of professors of mine who enlightened me, or who has given me that gyan to be a right person, like Professor Louis Castellon, who has helped me out build the whole business plan, right? From the scratch, he was there who helped me out, who was there with the jury also. There was Professor Luis Salgado, who was the person who actually told me I was a failure. You know, there are deep learnings that you have to do from all these experiences. When he says you are a failure, that means you are not actually a failure. You what he meant actually was you have seen success. Like you've been a class topper, you have won a rank, you moved abroad, you have seen success only. If you don't see that failure ka taste, you're always a failure because you did not taste the whole essence of success and failure. You have to groom yourself into a thing. So there will be a learning from team like this rather than just copying something. Copying something would not lead anywhere. Maybe they just build your MVP, but not scale up, grow it, and then go to a bigger round of funding or be a unicorn or decacorn. I would urge students or my fellow students to also post questions. It can be anything as such. You have to be open enough. Once you start speaking, once you start raising questions, that is when you can improvise, or that is when you can learn, you can grow, as I would say. And above all, I would say again, I'm not here to give any gyan. I'm here to just share my knowledge, just share my learning. So, I'm not your professor also. I'm your, maybe a friend of yours, right? Who can help you with the journey that I've gone through, and you may start sometime soon.
Yeah, students. So it's a time where you need to come forward. I need to clarify your doubts. And if you have any ideas, you can place before the resource person and he will give the right direction for you. Yeah, please feel free.
I have a question.
Yeah, sir.
How many of you here, the students community, like want to actually or are planning to build something? Do you have something to build? Do you want to build something, or do you have a zeal to do something? If so, please share it. Don't ask it out, but if you want to build something, just put that out.
Actually, some of the students had participated in Smart India Hackathon, sir, with some ideas. So students, those who had participated can place your ideas before resource person, and you can get the suggestions, right suggestions from sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hi.
please.
Sir, I have a question, sir. So, what are the basic challenges any entrepreneur will face during his journey, sir?
Good one. May I know your name, sir?
My name is Dinesh, sir. I'm a student.
Hi, 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 Dinesh. Uh, Thanks for that question. And this is something every one of us need to understand. Like, there are no basic problems or basic hiccups that any entrepreneur would face. As I said in the first initial conversation, is entrepreneurial journey or entrepreneurship is something personal. It's a very lonely journey, and it is something. It's an unexpected journey, right? Like you don't know at what point of time you're happy, you see success, you see failures, you see hard times, you see good times. So all this is part of your journey, right? So you'll face only this is bolke, there is nothing as such recorded. It is part of your journey. Say you're building something, you have something to do with. Say you have an amazing product but you don't have sufficient number of funds. It's a very good problem to have, right? Now it's time to find your investors. Now say you have an amazing product but customers are not accepting. It's a beautiful product problem to have, because your customers are not actually accepting, and you have built a product And now, how do you make that market product fit? So these are the challenges sometimes you always face. And once you have that market product fit, and now say you're scaling up, you probably say I could successfully do it with say 2,000, 3,000 fleet, and I have XYZ team. Now I have a newer problem stating that I have 2,000 more fleet that is given by one of the entities, and now I need to deploy, and I can't do it because I don't have team. That's a very good problem to have, right? So always look at the problem like a scenario where it is an inflection point, right? I don't know how many of you know inflection point here, students, but inflection point is a point where things can go either up or completely go down. Either your company can go bankrupt or it can go rocket high, right? So you need to understand where you're standing and what kind of a problem you're facing. And there is nothing as such. These are going to be a fixed set of basic problems that you're going to face. Your initial problem might start with, how do I find a co-founder? And then once you find a co-founder, how do I actually build a survey, or how do I build a market product fit, or how do I build how do I get investors, or how do I market this product? So every product has got its own challenges, and there is no fixed thing. But couple of them that you have to keep in your head is, once you are ideated, once you share it, and once you put forward that idea to the incubators or innovators or anyone as such, that is when the nurturing happens. Once you share this, right, you will actually not face any problem. There are many people to guide you, right? Why do companies give benefits to startups? Anyone of you have an idea? Like today, Google gives $1 lakh free of cost. Do use it for 2 years. Why do they give it? Because they know what kind of a problem a startup goes through, an entrepreneur goes through. Entrepreneur who's coming from a very basic beginning with a very limited funds, he'll not have access to build everything around. You see, you go to any competition, there will be entities that will give you AWS credits, Zoho credits, Freshwork credits. Why? To just build that community, just to give that back to the society or the community itself. So I would say the problems are not fixed. They're going to be variable. They're going to be as in when dependent on the type of a product and the service that you're building. And, it is all something open for anything. We can't fix what kind of problems we will have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, any other students? Yeah, please come forward, students.
Sir, this is Ajit. Can I have a question?
Yeah, Ajit, sir, please.
Yeah, yeah, Dinesh, sir. While you were explaining these challenges to entrepreneurs, I got one point, like the Mahindra, Tata, how they are helping the startups in India also. Are the any such companies who are ready to help the startups in India you have in mind? You can share with the participants.
Sure. If someone is trying to build a platform which can be, it's a software platform, there are entities that would give you credits, which is Amazon, AWS would give you your cloud credits, Google will give you cloud credits, Azure will give you cloud credits. And if this product needs a payment gateway, and initially you really don't know how many users will come onto platform, and then also there is a platform gateway, payment gateway fee that you'll pay, right? Even that is being credited by different services like Razorpay, cash free, or anything. And then once you have your team in place, you don't see, as an entrepreneur, you build something core components, and there are layers of things around. Like there are HRMS, there are also customer success tools, there are payment gateways, there are insurances that you need to take. All these things you'll not be able to do it just by paying monies, right? So now, how do you control this? And there are many players that give you benefits, and these are possible through the incubators, right? incubators partner with these entities, and these entities will be giving or passing on the benefits to the end customers, or end entrepreneurs who are building the products. So maybe right after this call, I can share a quick link where what kind of benefit someone could get. This is something that we have got from NASCOM. This is something we have got from T Hub, and I'm sure I Square RE also has a couple of partners which can enable this budding entrepreneurs to get certain benefits, not by spending a lot of monies on tools.
Yeah, thank you, Srikanth. And one more query. So what is the IoT industry like? Because the upcoming industry, industry 4.0, so it is going to IoT. What is its role? And
Sure.
do you have anything to share?
Sure. So if we look at the digitization, like we are the internet penetration rates have gone tremendous. Like today, maybe like we are standing way ahead others, like because of the population or because of whatever, but the penetration rate of internet has gone through, and the digitization is going through, right? So now we are moving towards a society where everything is connected. It can be smart home, it can be smart factory, it can be a smart college, it can be a smart scooter, right? Today our whole body is packed with smart watches, and you have your smart earbuds. Everything is communicating to each other. So I would say the future is bright. Just like in a mobility industry, right? We had a study called CASE, where it is first we had combustion vehicles, then we had electric vehicles, then we had shared mobility coming into picture, and then the last one is the autonomous industry, autonomous vehicles. So now, during all this transition, what has happened? Everywhere there's a layer of communication. Everywhere there is a layer of uh, message transfer that is happening. And once you attain a position, today we are in electric and shared mobility space, and tomorrow down the lane the journey is going to be autonomous. It can be a drone deliveries thing as well, or drone mobility as well. So during all these things, the IoT plays a super crucial role. Today people think like fixing up a GPS in a scooter is IoT, right? But it's not, right? IoT has got a lot more things. It has got a lot more capabilities. It's a brain that is actually functioning. It is actually processing a lot of information. So we need to differentiate that, and the industry is super active. IoTs are going to play a crucial role moving forward, and adding to it, the layer, once the IoT is coming to picture, there comes the layer of security. There can be a lot of cyber security threats that will face, and one needs to be capable of fixing up all these patches, right? In between both of them, there is an entity of data. There is tons of data that is being generated. In just our case, we have every second level information that is being sent, and we have almost petabytes of data of a number of customers that we have, and all this is being processed in real time and given. So there is also a need of data engineers or data scientists or data architects, who can build a streamlined process of data ingestion to everything. So as I said, there is a need of computer science guys, there is a need of electrical engineers, there is a need of embedded engineers. Everyone plays a crucial role, and future is super bright. And if someone is already building a product here in the student community, I would say, you see, inflation is coming. The investments are going down. People are going to face a lot of challenges. People are going to lose jobs. This is what we're hearing, right? So this is something for a product that is not a market product fit. Markets are super accessible. Even now, you ask anyone, any big company or any disruption that happens in the market would evolve in a time like this. In the toughest time comes the brightest mind, right? So that is what happened during the dot-com bubble, where everything, there was dot-com was booming, right? And then the whole industry collapsed. And what happened? Then came companies like Spotify, then came companies like Google, then came companies like Amazon, who are now multi-billion-dollar companies, right? During the inflation comes the brightest product, and that is what is going to shape the thing. So do not give up. Do not see what is happening in the market. Give your fullest, and that is what can give the right product into the market.
Yeah, thank you, Srikanth.
Thanks, Ajay.
So I would like to add something to your saying. The
Sure.
role of EEE, ECE, CSC, IT, IoT, machine learning is going to rule the industry now. So the students need to think in the industry-oriented point. I wish that our students will think in right way. And to give information, many of our students during Smart India Hackathon, internal hackathon from Computer Science, ECE, EEE, they have shared us wonderful ideas for the problem statements defined by industries and government of various ministries of the government. So their ideas were really nice. We are providing platform at CI Square RE through IIC, MSME, and recently two of ideas from our institute have been selected for the MSME business incubator.
Awesome.
Yeah. One student from Triply Mechanical reaper and binder machine for leafy vegetables, and another one from Raju sir, Dr. V. Raju sir, on smart parking monitoring system for smart cities.
Sure.
So at CI Square RE, the students as well as faculty, they started thinking towards the entrepreneurship as well as the startups. And one question, recently one of my relative, he joined, he's in final year, he was recruited by startup. Okay. And after working for around 1 or 2 months, the startup, they started firing. Yeah, so instead of hiring like this, because he has already got one opportunity in one company, but the package they said is very high. So then he started as a just intern, and he worked for 2 months. Then he got fired. So this is happening actually. So
True, Ajit sir.
yeah,
This kind of a scenario really happens. Growth at any cost kind of a
yeah,
startup. People who are well funded at that point of a time, they really don't understand, or they want growth, right? For the growth, there needs to be people,
yes,
and
yes,
this is what has happened with very good, well funded companies, and that is why I primarily mentioned you need to have your financial understanding right before
yes, yes,
we take any decision, and that is where the financial stability of the company also relies on, right? And adding to it, uh, we need to look at building sustainable startups rather than just worrying about the valuation bubble. And that valuation thing, at any point of a time can grow, can go down as well. If you look at the companies which were valued at like 600, 700 millions before the pandemic, and right after pandemic, after like 3-4 months, once the world stopped, their valuations actually dropped down. Actually, companies started up winding up their operations. Why? Because this was something which was unexpected situation that has gone through, and we need to do that risk management and also risk mitigation strategies right in place. So couple of things we need to always have in mind are these, like you need to have your financial understanding right, and at what scale, how much can we grow, and how long do we need this, and it is also about the operational efficiencies, right? So one person doing two tasks can also do 3-4 tasks, right? Like where if you're trying to improvise that operational efficiencies instead of just hiring a person for doing another one more task, which is a menial job and also can close it up in a meantime. This is something we are facing a backslash as well, and many people are uh, worried, what if I start this enter into this startup, and what if they shut down their operations? This problem is happening, and this is happening only with growth at any cost startups, I would say.
yeah. Thank you,
Uh,
Srikanth.
Sir, Srikanth Garu,
Yeah,
instead I
Thomas
would
sir.
like to, yeah, Sri Papa Srikanth sir, Srinivas sir, and Naveen gar and
Yeah,
Ajit and
please,
all.
sir.
Sir, my students have joined. Actually, my own council students have joined in this session. No, I want. I am seeking one suggestion from you, sir. Now, my current final year students. Now, in what project to put their mind? Actually, they want to choose their major projects. Actually, as faculty, we are giving projects to them, but those may seem very, uninterested to them. For example, if I would give them a biomedical processing. Okay, if I would give a biomedical image processing, my team may not sink into that idea. If they have their own, if they want to move with their own projects, now can you mention give some titles where, or can you give, can you suggest some areas of interest so that those will boom up in the coming days? As you were quoting the customer behavior and market strategy, and you were talking about inflation, all these things, keeping all this in one single line. Sorry. Can you suggest some areas where they can choose a major project so that they can also work interdisciplinary with other students of final years also? This is one, sir. And the second part is third year students, they have to choose mini projects. So mini means very simple module they can do. Major means they can have at least 2 modules. So please do suggest a good number of areas of interest or areas of research or areas of projects where these people can get higher package in the during the interview times.
Sure. So
yeah, please, sir, please.
Yeah. So, what project to choose, I would not be able to tell, but areas that they can concentrate is what I can mention here. Maybe, if it is a computer science grad, maybe concentrating more on the developing efficient algorithms. It can be, say, clustering wise, maybe say regression wise, it can be, say, any sort of algorithm that they want to develop. Or if they want to work something on the computer vision side, on how they can leverage. Today, if you look at Hyderabad, is like the highest surveillanced city, right, in India at least. So there is a lot of data that these people are capturing. How can the existing student who is studying computer science engineering can help in detecting faults that are happening on the road? Like how can this CCTV footage process a lot of information? So someone concentrating on the computer vision, or someone working on the maybe say projects like us, there are many people, like it's all going to be industry 4.0. It's all about IoTs. So now how do I process this large streams of data? How do I work around data modeling or data structuring? Some way, these areas which what people can work around. And again, developing some sort of an algorithm, I think they can still take it up for a mini project, right? And maybe full-fledged ETL to end data processing can be taken by someone in the areas of major projects. So maybe, sir, also I wanted to put forward something. Maybe we can discuss offline about, I have some things in my head on how to collaborate with KITSW. Because there is a need for ourselves to onboard great talent to the, into our team as well. So we can collaboratively have certain discussion, understand if we can really work on those areas.
Yes, sir. With the permission of Papa Srikanth, sir, if you would cater distinct needs for different departments. For example, myself, I'm hailing from CSC department. We have some specific concern about CSC students who may come from third year or final year. Please, you're welcome, sir. With the permission of CSC Master also, sir. We'll have a specific session for our CSC people, sir, so that all the experiences and all the things research and development sir is doing already will be a great benefit for our students, in my opinion, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Santosh sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have a question.
Hi, please.
Yeah,
Sir,
please.
like if we do a startup and we own a company,
Like accelerators, I have heard that accelerators take some equity, sir. Can you explain about it, sir? Like they.
Yeah. So typically, how does that work is, you know, incubators or accelerators, they'll not just take equity. It is, if you are a, sometimes things go pro bono basis, sometimes things go, paid partnerships wherein, you pay certain amount to, because there are also resources that are going to put, right? They're going to call people from different sectors. They're going to invite mentors. They're going to give you certain space. They're going to spend some time as well. So for all these things, they're going to be certain fee. And if you pay that fee, that should be fine. Where incubators might also take equity, I don't think any incubator would take a sweat equity just like that, because they know what is the equity's value. Instead, they'll just be taking a success fee. Reason being said, to create more efforts, right? Say T-Hub in our previous round might charge like certain XYZ percentage, right? That is not in terms of equity. That is a success fee. Meaning, once you have graduated, once you have got to a certain extent, what we have provided a service, they'll take little amount wherein they can utilize that fund to utilize within their resources again to bring in more such investor circle or more such partnership circle, more such market access. For all these things there is a cost incurred. And incubators are someone kind of an NGO, right? They don't earn monies just by there is nothing that they'll earn money with the fees that you're going to pay to them, right? And also some success fees that we're going to give them that will enable them to do any sort of outreach activities, any sort of publication activities. So I don't think there is someone who will take equity as sweat equity. Even if it is a mentor who is going to, or an advisor who is going to come on board, you generally end up giving 1%, 2%. It is depending on the the kind of person who is going to come on board, the value that that person is going to create, and also the things that is going to bring onto your table. And if you think that 1%, 2% today has no value, but giving that person brings up 100 times value, why not give it, right? Say today you have 100% equity in your company, but then today it might just be valued at 100 rupees, but then tomorrow giving 1% or 2% or 3% to I Square RE, and then they bring on a lot of things to your table in terms of market, mentor, people, process, whatever it can be, right? Monies. Once they bring onto your table, your 100 rupees are now 1 lakh valued. How much is your 98% valued now? At different rate, right? So equity, till the time it has no value, it has no value, zero it is. Instead, there is a leverage that you can have by giving out on your shelling out little equity. You can generate a lot of value as an entity itself.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, one student raised hands. Triply, roll number 1. You have any query?
Sir, I just asked the question.
Fine. Yeah, any other student, please pose your questions if you have any. Yeah, any other student?
Sir, roll number 36. Yeah, please.
Student, please.
Sir, I want to know that how the entrepreneurship mindset need to be, sir. Like how hard he need to work.
Yeah. How hard you need to work.
You mean the mindset?
Basically, yeah. The mindset thing, it can't be explained in just like 5-10 minutes. You need to have a different session altogether. That entrepreneurship mindset or leadership mindset. A good question to be asked and good question to be answered as well. For this, rather than giving an explanation, I would suggest a book which I know, and that might help you. Maybe right after this call, I'll be sharing along with the resources, this book as well. I'll be sharing with Naveen Garu, and he'll be sharing with you. So that entrepreneurship mindset and the leadership mindset is something. It's an ongoing journey, and how long you have to work. Sometimes you need to work 18 hours, 24 hours. Also, you'll have no sleep days. Also, you need to be ready. You need to be hustling around, because there's no gain, no pain. Like no pain, no gain, right? So the same thing happens here also. Something works out with the gym. Here also it works out the same thing. You have to work around. You need to hustle. that is when you see the fruits.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Fine.
That means the another way is that Srikanth Garu, they want to be work something for the software company, and as well as they can have the idea to start up the company beside. So after getting money from the job, and do they start their own after a couple of years or a couple of months based on their experience and performance? So is it worthy or workful in that nature?
Yeah. What I've learned over a period is going all in, sir.
Yeah.
Go all in. That is why I said like fail quicker. If you fail quicker, you have alternative resources, but you stick to it and then run the show for like 4 or 5 years, then you lost your capability of moving to another job or something. So we need to be learning quicker, failing quicker, and grow faster. That is what I believe in.
That means any part time, like it will be workable.
Yeah, like
It will
to
show the
maybe
results.
say,
Show the. So if
yeah,
it will
maybe
be start up my question is that if it will be start up the company, we have to work for 24/7. So apart
yeah,
from that, I'll work in some industry or somewhere else to have the salary, and side by side I'll be grow in this line startup company to be established. So
sure.
people will be
Ju-
safe. They will be thinking that direction. So whether it will
We
be
also need to,
workable.
sorry to cut you here, sir, but we also need
Yeah.
to consider the mental health, and something. Once this mental health is right in place, we'll be able to put a lot of energy on something else. Now, if a person is working somewhere else and the other 12 hours he's spending on his idea, he is mentally ill now. He's physically going to fall down now. So for him to have specific time for himself and also to work on the product is needed, and to also personally take care of themselves. So I would rather say, give all in. At the ideation stage, maybe, while you're struggling, once your idea comes into a shape, till then it's okay. But once it is right in shape and once we think we should be able to give it to the market, then it's better to go all in.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I do have a doubt, sir. Like, for example, a person want to develop a technical product. For that, he need to have the technical exposure, the technical knowledge required. So for this, he need to work in a company to get the exposure, domain knowledge, and later he can build up his own product. So for this, he required to go work in the company, or
I
he
would,
can
I
hire
mean, the way,
some other person.
yeah, the way I look at it, sir, like someone doesn't need to come from IITs, IIMs, ISBs of the world. The innovation or talent is there anywhere around. Someone needs to have that implementational knowledge, and someone who has capability to build the minimal, MVPs, right? And later on, there are a couple of resources, not couple of resources, n number of resources out in the market in terms of consultant, in terms of, the mentorship, right? The people built MVPs, and now through the incubation centers, there is mentorship. They'd guide you on how to actually fix these loopholes. Or if you are well-versed company already, then you have consultants who can fix those patches. So someone doesn't need to have like the whole knowledge, but having the domain expertise or implementational knowledge or industry experience and expertise is something that we'll need, and that can be gained in a different varieties of ways.
Okay.
Sir, Srikanth sir, this is Santosh again. I have my
Hi,
own
Santosh.
doubt. Akash. The thing is, I am pursuing my PhD and I am at the edge of completion of my PhD, sir. And I have a patent done, which you said that out of box patent. Okay, so that relates to health domain, sir. So if I would develop the product here in India, will it have a market viability? Because my product will crack problems in nephrology, neurology, and cardiology and ophthalmology, sir. 4 different clinicians will be using it to develop that. So, if can you let me know if I would develop product here in India, would it be feasible in the market, sinking, or will it be good if I would develop it in other foreign countries where will have more funds to develop it?
So, is your company incorporated already, Santosh Garu?
No, sir. Just I have done a patent. I've done
Sure.
it equally again.
Okay. So I would say one mistake that I have done is, once I had an idea, once I thought like, this product is actually fit for the market, and after all the service and everything, I went ahead and started the company. During that time, what happened? The pandemic, and I lost 1 year good time, right? What happens is government startup India scheme, or any incubators as such, they would be providing you with access to funds. You get grants, you get initial monies to build a product. And now if you talk about health tech, there are n number of competitions that are going on in the health tech industry. If you
Yes.
look at the Startup India website, there are n number of grants that they're giving.
Sir.
Maybe offline, I'll be able to connect you with someone at T Hub who is looking into this aspect. And also, there are a couple of guys I met at Expo 2022,
Sir.
where we met some crazy people who are working in the health industry. I'll not be the right person to answer this question because I'm not into the healthcare domain, but I can connect you with a couple of guys who can guide you on how the industry is and where to concentrate on. And I would, as a entrepreneur, as a colleague of yours, I would suggest work something for India. And India has got the potential. India has got monies. India has got the market. India has got everything, and we have a lot of resources that can help you out with. And we have the head here, Mr. Srikanth Garu. He is already listening to it. Srinivas Garu and Naveen Garu. So there is a lot of resources that these people can give you. And funding is not just the limitation, and you have holding something important that is patent, right? And that is out of the box you're claiming. So,
Yes.
Right now it's all about talking to people, getting the right network in place.
Yes. Sir,
So,
on this platform, I would convey my heartfelt thanks to Papa Srikanth sir, because sir is a great motivator, and I was a student once upon a time. Even I feel that I am a student now also. Even sir personally calls me and motivates in like anything, sir. I'm ever indebted to Srikanth sir. So thank you for the word you have given that offline you'll be suggesting me some network. Sure, sir.
Yes,
After
sir.
having receiving my grant, I'll be sure I'll be contacting you through Naveen or through Ajit. Thanks for this word, sir. Thank you so much for the answer.
Anytime.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. I will connect to Srikanth sir later. Santosh sir.
Yeah, Naveen. Thank you.
Yeah, students. Any other students willing to share your ideas or doubts? So we'll wait for another couple of minutes. If any queries, we'll go through, or else we'll wind up the session, sir.
Yeah, because this is Srikanth again.
Yeah, Srikanth sir, please, sir.
As you rightly, the very basic purpose of conducting sessions with people like you is to have a long run understanding between you and the college. So that was the first instant I told you this. And as Ajit has rightly brought up a certain point, here I request you to give us some modules of your project, of your industry, whatever you're doing with, as an experiment for my students to take up mini projects or projects. So we are trying that type of understanding with companies. As the business incubator of KITSW, we have made an MOU with TSIC, Telangana State Innovation Council, and in turn with Aziatron, is a South African company, and they have started giving us the modules of their project as a mini project or project to my students. So we slowly started with that, and I think HALA can also be one more partner into it. So whatever problems that you have that you can think of, you can give it to our students, sir. So such an MOU can be
Sure.
developed between HALA and Kids Warangal, and that is the purpose of this session. And as
Thank you so much for
Santosh
that.
rightly said, yeah, sir. And Santosh rightly said that my suggestion to him was always like this. His idea is good. We have entertained it, but what he has to do is make a minimum viable product or at least a prototype. So I was telling him that, but because he is involved into his PhD final stage, so we did not disturb him. But how about
Mhm.
saying that it should be at least a prototype model? So because this idea pitching, as you rightly know, Srikanth, any company or any investor or any T hub or whatever it is, they first listen to your pitching of idea. They should be
Yeah.
convinced with that. Then only they can go with MOUs or they can go with funding or they can go with supporting and all.
Yeah.
Is it true or not?
True. True. 100%. We need to
Yeah.
have a
So
story to tell.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my students and my faculty has to understand this particular scenario, and this is where we are trying to focus. The very basic purpose of the center, as I have taken, is to bring awareness among the students and faculty. Because it took me, say, 1 year to convince my management that this is the upcoming scenario, the Center for Innovation and Incubation. Then some awareness is brought among the management. Then they invested 5 crore rupees upon the infrastructure, believe me. So no other private college nearby has put such a big, huge fund of their own. So I could convince to certain extent my management, and my humble principal is a visionary principal. He understands the importance of this. So now I started putting that confidence to into my faculty, and that is why my faculty could successfully put their ideas into business incubator, and we Raju Reddy sir, Kishore and Ajit sir got their projects selected, and they may get a fund about 5 to 10 lakhs based on their project to make a viable product. So this is how we are slowly bringing. But what I wanted is my student involvement, because ultimately the gaining people should be my students. So that was the permission I have taken from management, that my students will be benefit out of this center. So slowly we are moving into now involving them into the center activities is two ways. Again, we have made, Srikanth. One is through lecture series like you, through motivational sessions like you. And second is making them to involve into this activity directly or indirectly. That means by giving some modules, by giving some mini projects of industry, and by giving some real application problems of industry for them to make a challenge. And then if they start getting innovative ideas, then they start getting confidence on themselves. So this is how we are planning. So do you think it will go in a right way out of your experience?
I would say it would 100%, sir, because you have abundant pool of talent with you. You have, a supportive management and, great minds thinking towards achieving great things, right? So all together combined, you have a lot of things covered together, and I'm sure that will help enrich the whole, vision you have, sir.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Sri.
in fact, just like we did with Triple IT campus, IT campus, ISB campus here, we started deploying a couple of vehicles around, trying to showcase what we do, how you can utilize this product, and how EVs are going to change the way you commute, right? Uh, I was also in touch with Pranay for the TSIC to deploy certain things in a pilot with Warangal as well. I've come there, visited a couple of government entities as well. If Kakatiya KITSW wants a couple of vehicles for the internal commute, for people to move from the entrance gate to the main campuses or within the departments. If it's, I'm sure it's a huge campus. So uh, if there is anything as such, very happy to deploy certain number of vehicles, give it to for your internal commute as well. Thereby, people would regularly look at it. And once we deployed the scooters at IIIT campus, you know what happened? The people, I mean, the students started, you know, computer science students specifically started doing some sort of activity on the application. They started giving us the loopholes within the application. You know, hey, dude, there are security patches, security vulnerabilities that are there in the application, and you know, these are the improvements that you need to do. So it has been more engaging with the students community, and you know, because they are day in day out studying the same concepts, and they've been implementing on the real time project, which is, you know, running around their doorstep. So there's something that we can do that way, or you know, offline I can give couple of modules that people can work on mini or major project wise. And if there is a chance to hire the talent, we are always open for that as well.
That sounds great, Srikanth. This is the purpose I was asking for. And definitely we will do both ways, that mini projects, and I will talk to my principal, and then we can also think of putting that vehicles here, at least 2 or 3. So
Sure.
my CST HOD will definitely take care of such vehicles, and
Yes,
also
sir.
give their students will also give the loopholes if we can find it out.
Sure, sure.
Definitely
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
into this, Srikanth. And when Naveen will
Sure,
make
sure,
a
sir.
follow-up, and
Yeah, sure, sir.
slowly progress.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Srikanth, sir.
Yeah, Naveen, if no questions or no,
Yeah, Sri,
we go for the proceedings of the valedictory.
yeah. I request head of the department, Srinivas sir, to give the ending remarks.
Yeah.
The closing remarks.
Really, thank you, Srikanth sir, for your good inputs to establish the entrepreneurship and the startup companies as accelerating. It's a very nice session to attend. From the whole session, actually, I was there to listening and taking the questions, and while giving the answers by you. It's very excellent. It's very nice. Thanks once again to we'll come up with the several ideas to be shared with you in the near future. Definitely, your cooperation is needed for our students as well as faculties too. Yeah, because of such doubts, is having Santosh sir is having more doubts regarding his patents and his work and his projects, and for the giving the projects for our students also. Your help needed in the future also, so we'll be get in touch with you. Thanks for giving the chance to us to take the session with your busy schedule. Thank you very much, sir, and thanks Srikanth sir
Thank you
for
for hosting this.
yeah. Thanks Srikanth sir for take this session with permission by principal sir. We thanks to our principal sir also for permitting us to conduct this session, and thanks Kumar Swami for bringing more students and faculties for doing working from yesterday onwards. Thank you, and thank you Naveen for hosting the session, and thanks all the participants who has been participated here, and Ajit also took a lot of efforts to gather the students and everyone, and thanks to anchors the students who has been hosted the session. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Very nice sessions.
I once again thank the resource person, Srikanth Garu, for immediately accepting my request and being part of the session. And I'm sure that the students are enlightened with the knowledge delivered, the presentation delivered. And I request you to please continue your support even after the session. And also, we will try to utilize your services. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for hosting me, Naveen Garu.
Yeah.
It was indeed a pleasure, talking to such a good crowd here and supportive faculty members around. Thank you so much.
And I thank President ISQRRE, Srikanth Garu, and Ajit sir for supporting Sunil Pratap sir, and head of the department, Srinivas Garu, and even Kumar Swami sir supported me in organizing this event, and also the student community. Thank you all. Yeah. Indu, please continue and wind up the session.
Thank you, sir. I request Ajit sir to give vote of thanks.
Yeah, Ajit sir.
Yeah, on behalf of CI Square RE, IIC. I propose a vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to convey my thanks to the Ministry of Education and AICTE for sponsoring Impact Lecture Series 1 and 2. We have organized 4 sessions under Impact Lecture Series. Thank you for the support. And I thank the Department of Computer Science Engineering for hosting this Impact Lecture session today. I also thank Department of ECE, EDC Cell, and Civil Department for hosting other sessions. I thank Naveen sir, Raju sir, Suman sir, Jagdish sir personally for hosting this session and making Impact Lecture Series successful. I thank the student organizers, Himavarsha, Kaushik, Dineshwar, the host Hindu, for being supportive in making all arrangements and recordings, posters, etc. And I also thank the other participants for the 4 sessions. And the special thanks goes to today's guest, Srikanth Reddy. Sir, like Srikanth sir said, definitely we'll be having an MOU with your company, sir. And we are looking forward to you in this direction. Very soon we'll call you. I think Srikanth sir will call you. Thank you all once again for attending today's session. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. On
Thank
time.
you. Thank
We
you,
are
sir.
ending the session. At sharp 11 o'clock we have started.
At 1
and
o'clock.
1 o'clock we are ending the session. Thank you, Srikanth Reddy. It's very nice.
Thank you, Srikanth.
Nice, sir.
This the learning
Thank you.
things from the startup session. This is the learning. Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure, you will have many more sessions from you,
Yeah.
sir.
Definitely.
Done. Sure.
Thank you, sir. We'll end up the session. We'll wind up the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Indu. Thank you, Dinesh, for hosting the Microsoft Teams.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I
Thank
end
you.
the meeting, sir?
Yeah.
Srinivas, sir, shall we wind up? Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll close the Teams.
Done.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all.